But we had one shatter today. So, you ever have an AC compressor fall off, shred the belt, and then tear up your crank sensor? I have now. All right, so you guys can see, 140 foot-pounds. Your turn. Here, try to push down on it. He's trying. There. Here, try to use your hands. Use your hands.
Okay.
Here, see if you can push down on that. No? All right. You tried. Honest effort.
Okay, now I move on to the next one.
They're all tight, don't worry. So this side was pretty easy. We're gonna jump to the next side and wash some hands here. Go ahead, wash your hands. You got this, right? There you go. Now take it out.
Sorry.
You're good. Now top one, top or bottom, it doesn't matter. Make sure it's all the way on. Push and there you go. See, he's getting it. It's almost 7, so he'll be able to do this. Next one's the bottom middle. All right, so you look at this one. You know, it had some meat left on it. This is the one that we were talking about. I knew when we went for inspection that this was. I went and looked at them, and that one's pretty bad. So 4 new ones. Just we're gonna throw some grease on there, make this all nice, and slap everything back together. All right, guys, we are back at the storage unit. I'm gonna come in here. We are hitting the road Thursday morning at like 3 a.m. So I need to put the sleeper back in and go over a couple things with you guys. So obviously, new headlights, new tail lights, new, I went and got TPMS sensors, bunch of front end work. Still haven't done anything with the front end. I know I should have. New exhaust. You guys can see, so we're going to be running a little bit different of a setup. The camera is mounted differently, so I can move this adjustable. This is temporary. I will start messing with this at some point, but for now, this is pretty solid. New airbag routing, new 7-way hitch. This light I have on Amazon. I'm going to be ordering. It's going to be an all LED strip, so it'll have 3 center lights. I got my generator back, all mounted up and everything, and bunch of new stuff. I gotta grease the 5th wheel, but I think we're taking a boat out to Idaho, somewhere out there. New mud flap weights, everything's all mounted up nice. So, and then I don't know if they delivered these yet. I need to do these today. This one's like falling apart. These things kind of suck. And then other than that, some engine work we did, but nothing too crazy. So when we got rid of those, got new inspection. I will be ordering a new dash camera next time in, and a bunch of new parts. I'll actually come back here and show you guys. So the RV hauler style type look. Oh yeah, that's right. We also zip tied these. We're gonna have a full mud flap. I ordered, they're like 1/2 inch thick mud flaps, so I ordered that for the back. We'll be getting those next time. It goes from like right about here all the way over on the center, and it was like a $350, $370 mud flap. So I got the best one that they make. And let's see, you know, we've been having carrier bearing issues. Oh look, we have a good carrier bearing, so that's good. We'll see how long that lasts. And other than that, no issues down here. The fluid was good when we checked it last. So you guys saw that I had the carrier bearing issues. I am carrying a spare now. We're gonna go with a 1-piece drive shaft eventually. I'm gonna get a 60-gallon fuel tank from Titan. We'll be getting one of them at some point. They're about 1,500 bucks. And then thinking about spending the 1,800 for the front hubs, but I don't know yet if I'm gonna do it or I'm just gonna go with the live front end. But I'm gonna take care of the front end next time instead of doing it this time, because I just kind of ran out of stuff. I ran out of time, so we'll deal with that. But in the meantime, we do have rags in there, and we did the front pads yesterday, so brand new brake pads up front. Now we're gonna get into the storage unit. All right, so just trying to figure out the new setup and everything. Took the passenger seat out. I have these Thurin brackets here, so I'm using these to prop this up. I actually kind of not a bad mounting idea. I might drill a second hole into this and make this like a permanent thing until I get home, and then obviously make it all removable. So I would like to mount this at some point. if possible, probably gonna make something in this general area. I want a fridge and a microwave. I'm gonna throw the back seat in here, and gonna be kind of weird with only one seat, but I mean, it is what it is. So can only do what you can do. There's not a lot of room in the pickup, and I hate throwing stuff on the front seat. Things that are not in place like that bother me. Obviously this thing needs a full detail, so when I come back next time, I'll probably vacuum this whole thing out. There we go. It's windy today. All right guys, I'm gonna show you, sorry about the wind. I don't know, I haven't had wind noise in a video in forever, but here's where we're at. I have greased that and it will not shut up. So here's where we're at. I'm gonna vacuum this out. Here's the mattress. I am going to try to find a way to stuff a refrigerator up against this and get a microwave installed as well. But in the meantime, this is how we're gonna run it. No seat, everything is nice. I know this kind of pushes out a little bit, but as you can see, I don't know if I showed anybody, I cut this mattress down so it sits nice and flush on one side, and we'll come over to the other side, and boom, there you go. So now I'm gonna go home, got a couple of things there to do, and then I'll be ready to head out on Tuesday morning, picking up a boat. Hurt my mouth. Picking up a boat around 7 o'clock in the morning, take that to Idaho, so I will definitely be filming that. That's right, there's my TPMS. So I want to check and watch this. I lowered all the pressures down to 55, so they're kind of like up and down in between 50 and 60, which is what I want to keep. So we'll see how that does, see if it helps prolong tire life. I was running them at the max. I haven't had an issue ever doing that, but I'm gonna run these lower, see if we can't get a little better fuel economy and whatnot, and see if they can last longer and avoid blowouts. Because when I had it at 65, the pressures would go up to like 72, 73, and they're only 65-pound tires. So that's how we're gonna run it. We'll see how that goes. All right, well, another day, another dollar. We are out here finally. I'm headed down to Maryland to go get a boat. Deadhead, not too bad, about 2 hours from the house. Down south, it's about 120 miles, something like that. So we're filling up now at Sheets. Unfortunately, there is no mud flat places near me, and Love's is expensive as hell. So I found this place for $3.29. I know it's not the greatest in fuel, but we are in Pennsylvania, so I'm just gonna fill up here, not a big deal, and go from there. So did my walk around this morning. Lights are all bright as hell. You guys can see no seat. So I'm gonna end up getting another fridge from the truck stop, the 12-volt one, and then I'm gonna get a microwave. So somewhere in this area, we're gonna start building that out in a couple weeks. But other than that, I'm kind of excited to try out this new setup. Truck's running awesome. I went through and did a bunch of work to it, as you guys saw. And I'm filling up now, taking forever. Pennsylvania fuel is expensive. The fact that I found it for $3.29, I'm surprised, because across the street it's $3.55, so that's crazy. But I'm gonna get into it. I'll probably start filming again when I go to pick up this boat, or after, I don't know. I think the customer's gonna be there, so we shall see. But other than that, let's get rolling. All right, so we got a boat. I'm gonna go over it when we get to another drop. It looks like I have, what is that? A day and 13 hours to go. I'm gonna try to drop Sunday, so we shall see. It's gonna be close. Then we got another one picking up Monday. You guys are gonna love the trailer I'm picking up Monday. You're not gonna see it in this video, but I am headed to Idaho now, and then come back to Maryland. All right, here it is. Figure I'll stop now. Gonna get everything looked over, make sure the tires are good. Things look awful, but hopefully they make it. We do got a spare. Check the straps, they're tight. Customer did all that, the strapping and whatnot, so bearings. I have a bad feeling about this one, but that is cold. So let's check the other two. Been driving, I don't think very long. I have a bad feeling. Yeah, these are all awful. But the front two are cold as hell. The back two are very, very cold as well. Everything good over here. Breakaway. Trying out. Seems like it's helping out. This guy here, been trying that. We'll see. I'll leave a review on that at some point. But in the meantime, it's doing awesome. This I can actually see out of. A working customer had to put a new ground in right there because the old one was kind of terrible. So, all right. Boat. All right, so while I'm out here playing around, I started messing with the airbags individually, and I'm like, well, fuck it, I'll put them both to like you know, 40, 50 pounds each. Well, it turns out when they're both even, the truck sits down like this. I didn't realize, so we got the fuel tank on this side, heavy generator that's full of gas on this side. The majority of like the heavy stuff is on this side. So I think this side took like 60 and this side took like 35 or 40. So 40 and 60. And I measured it out. They were both 7 5/8, and the bags were both compressed to about 4 inches each down at the other spot down there. So I drove up here to make sure I was on level ground and redid the test. And this side was 7 5/8, this side 7 5/8. So I'm gonna conclude that the left side is decent bit heavier. I wanna see how heavy this thing is, because I remember the mountains on 68 were pretty bad through Maryland. I don't seem to have enough pulling power to get up those hills going anything higher than 60. So I'm kind of curious on how heavy this thing is, but I didn't think it was that heavy. But it did put a little struggle pulling it out of the hole that it was in. So I don't know. Maybe I'll weigh this thing if I stop at a truck stop, just out of curiosity. All right, it's snowing. Whatever. Check, make sure these are level. Get me some fuel. Yep, they're about level. Check my bearings, get some fuel, pretty good to go. All right, if you don't have one of those infrared temperature guns, I recommend getting one. They're really cool. I just checked, went around everything. The rear diff was like 130, which is about normal. The axles were like in between 60 and 80. The axles on the trailer are actually really cold for not having, I was actually concerned about them. So everything's going good. I found this place for $2.99 for diesel, and I should get it a little bit less because of EFS. I haven't, I've tried finding places for mud flap. I'm still kind of having a hard time finding places within my route, but I found a Love's I was gonna stop at, and I'm almost out of fuel, and I'm like, well, I just see this place for $2.99 and it's a truck stop, so I just figured, hey, I'll take it. So rather than filling up at Love's. So I haven't had any issues with this yet. I'm actually loving this because tomorrow when I get out and go do my pre-trip, I don't have to make sure my tire pressures are good because they're all gonna be right there. Same thing, I left this morning, didn't have to worry about them, saw my numbers and went. Now they're all over the place because I did put them at 55 when it was cold, and they kind of go all over the place throughout the day in between, like they started around like 51, 52, some of them, and some of them got up to like 60, and then they're back down to like, it's just all over the place. All right, we're starting up. It's about 1:47 in the morning. Got my pre-trip and all that crap in. Starting out the day at 484,730 miles. So hopefully we can do 700 miles today. I guess we'll see. And then on my tire pressures, this is definitely convenient. Now if I come back here, I wish you guys, you know what? I need to show you guys that. What the hell is even that? So, I'm gonna do a measure, make sure the bags are even. You guys can see everything's good over here. We got the breakaway correctly done. A little loud, we're smoking a little bit. Make sure the boat works. All my tires were good. All the axles were pretty cold too. So that's good. All right, so I know you can't see me. That guy's wheels, like what? He's got covers on him and it's kind of weird. All right, I want to know what the deal is with this boat because it feels a lot heavier than it looks. But I found my first mud flap stop. So we're gonna fill up here. It's like 309, my price $293. So not too bad. I didn't really need fuel yet. I was at like 30%. So I could have run it a little harder. I do really need to go get a bigger tank. So a couple more trips. I think it's like 1,500 bucks for a 60-gallon tank. I'm gonna say I'm loving this so much better. I have my crate and then my tea sitting there. I'm gonna end up making a spot in this area so the fridge will sit on the floor, and then there will be a microwave like above it, and then somewhere I'm gonna put this crate for like all the miscellaneous stuff. So I think that's how that's gonna work. I have not experienced wind like this in a while. I got out to go get fuel and it just wanted to slam the door on me. Oh my God, it's bad. So I was wondering why, you know, it's been windy this whole trip, and I guess now that explains why the EGTs are a little high and the boost is constantly at 30. So that makes sense. I realized it was that windy, but it's pretty damn windy. This entire trip I've been sitting at 30 pounds of boost. All right, so I went through with the temperature gun on everything: rear axle, front axle, oil pan, tranny, transmission. Transmission got up to 214. Today it was really working. I'm gonna get out here. We're done for the day, but I went through, checked everything, axles, differential temperatures underneath there. I did have to stop, go grab some oil from Walmart. So there's 2 jugs over there, and then one of these is also full. So I'm gonna go throw those other 2 away a while. I'm gonna try and mount that fire extinguisher a little differently because it keeps twisting this way and the face keeps going down. So that kind of bothers me, but I don't know where else I want to put it. And there's not really any better spots. So I might try to figure something out with that. All right, everything's been checked out. I went through, cleaned out in here. There was like leaves and stuff. I did both sides, remounted the wood that's down there. I reorganized some stuff, and see here you can see the fire extinguisher there, nice and tight, not going anywhere. And I might have to cut that cable up there a little bit, but besides that, I also put my hitch plate through that piece there so I can pull that out whenever I need it, so that doesn't get lost. This thing's getting a little low. I need to find a spot for this because I will at some point get a spot, once I get a new tailgate, get a spot to put that. And when we get back, this light's getting replaced with another one of these. Okay, so it is 11 o'clock, 11:10 at night. Just did my pre-trip. Make sure my pin's in and everything. Obviously, I went over and looked over this thing last night, so everything's pretty decent. So, went in, brushed my teeth, do my pre-trip, and got me some McDonald's before they closed. So we are gonna hit it. Truck should start up relatively fine. There's a Love's 718 miles away, and that's the one I'm gonna try to make it to today. Let's see how this truck starts. Now, the truck doesn't start unless you hit throttle, so I like to crank it a little bit. Oh, I forgot to check the oil. I'm gonna check the oil quick. I wanna do that. So I like to crank it to get the oil pressure up, and then I'll start it if it's been like a long night. So this thing otherwise starts up on the second crank. I'll show you after I check the oil. Before I do that, this is one of the things I never liked about the Edge, is the inconsistency. If I start the truck and then turn it off, this thing freaks out. It's trying to initialize, then it tells you to turn the key off, turn it back on, turn it off, on, and it's really annoying. And that's kind of why I want to do away with it, because I just don't like the consistency of that. So you cannot detect ignition on. So this thing's gonna go through its cycle for like ever. Yeah, right there. Please cycle the ignition and ensure the key is on position. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to get out and leave if I have to. Like, that's one of the reasons I don't like the Edge. But I think that's the only downside, and that's literally my only complaint about this thing. So the oil was full. Listen to how fast this thing actually starts when I want it to. See, half of a crank and it starts. See if the Edge does its thing, but I'm gonna get out of here, start driving, get everything set up. See? Annoying. I don't like this. The fact that now it's gonna give me a selection. I have to go through these settings, and even though it's only click this, click that, it's like I shouldn't have to do that. It's one more thing that I have to mess with on top of everything else. So I like to turn my camera off, and I like to turn my radio off. The radio still plays. That's the nice thing. I like this radio because I can turn the screen off and it'll still play music, and I use the remote over here. You guys can see that. I use the remote for the radio. Yo, it sucks out here out west. So this is what I mean. This is a 6,500 pound boat, and would you look at these numbers just cruising on the flats. 30 pounds of boost, 1180 on the EGTs, coolant temp is up, everything is up. Like, it's just nuts. I don't know, and it feels heavy, but it's not heavy, that's the thing. It's a 6,500 pound boat. I'm gonna assume that it's this wind because this shit is brutal. I think I'm gonna grab a self-tapper and do this mirror quick. I hated that mirror being down. I could not see anything with this thing down. It's like you kind of have to like lean out to see if there's someone next to you. I put 2 self-tappers in it. Those things are great. They are huge for being self-tappers. They're 10 mils. And I tried to force the mirror close with them in there. If I have to throw another one in there, I will, but shitty mirrors. I might order a new set of these too. This one's always been like that since I got it. Well, we got some bad news. I went to pull out on the exit. Good thing I didn't get far. I heard some noises and I'm like, what the hell? Everything looks good. I'm gonna show you guys something. And I'm glad that I keep a spare belt on me, because I've never had one of these shatter on me. But we had one shatter today. So I'm gonna figure out why that did that. Oof. That ain't good. All right, so this is kind of my fault with a little bit of neglect. I found out what happened. So, forgot when I put this motor in about a year ago, I only put 2 of the bolts back in the AC compressor. I did the bottom one and the top one. And I heard something hit the bottom of the truck, and I'm like, what is that? So, screw it. And then I heard it again, and I'm like, all right, something's wrong. Well, luckily there's an advanced auto up the road. Unfortunately, it's nighttime. So even if I replace the serpentine belt, oh goodness. Oh well. I think I'm gonna hit up the road. I'm gonna see what I can come up with. This one's my fault. Whoops. I completely forgot about it. I had to stop at Advanced Auto anyway. Did get 200 miles. I got 200 miles in since the first stop. So I'm probably gonna drive up there without the belt and just monitor everything. Like, just be super cautious. It's only like 1:45 in the morning, so it's not like there's a lot of traffic, but it is what it is. This one's my fault. I'm not blaming the truck on this one. This one is totally my fault. So I'm gonna see if they have bolts. If not, because here's one of the bolts and it snapped the end off. So, oh well, we'll see. I'm gonna try to get that bolt back in, see if it'll thread even a little bit, and then maybe throw a strap around it to hold it, but I don't know. I literally just need 4 bolts. I have a serpentine belt. I always keep a spare serpentine belt. But in this case, that's not gonna be helpful without some bolts. So, try to find some AC compressor bolts. Okay, so I have come to the conclusion that the belt snapping hit the crank sensor, shoved the crank sensor into the crank itself, and completely wreaked havoc on the crank sensor. So I'm gonna go get one of them. I don't know if, I thought I kept a spare crank sensor on me, but I guess, I don't know where or if it's in my spare parts. So I'm just gonna GPS this AutoZone and go stop there. So this is what gets you the views right here. I'm gonna show you exactly what I did. Don't judge me, this needs to last. 5.7 miles. So it turns out there's only one hole that doesn't have a bolt broken off in it, and that's this one. So I threw a cable tie in that to keep this in the spot so that I could start messing with it. I then took a ratchet strap to the steering brace over there to one side, caught this tight, and then took the remainder and strapped the other side. So now this is tight. Then I put the belt on. Now it's a little cocked, but it only needs to last 5.7 miles, or at least just get me there, and then it can snap there. So that's what we're doing. Well, I think that's where I'm pretty much gonna end off this video. You ever have an AC compressor fall off, shred the belt, and then tear up your crank sensor? I have now. Can't say I've ever had this happen. So this should be a quick, easy fix. I'm gonna go over everything in the next video and show you guys what's going on, as well as drop the boat, get paid, and then we'll start heading to Wyoming, and then we'll start heading back to Maryland with another trailer, and we'll go from there. I think you guys are gonna like what we're gonna haul next. I'm not gonna say what it is, but it is pretty messed up. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like, share, subscribe, do what you do, you know, the normal stuff. Appreciate you guys. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Have a good one.